Welcome to Tech This Way.
We gonna do it like an hour?
About an hour. Can?
Can.
Okay, bro. Welcome to Tech This Way. Good afternoon, Mr. Heislyc.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Amran.
Thanks for coming. I think there's quite a bit of different things that we want to talk about. But in essence, it's about your community building. Okay?
Yes.
Especially within the startup community in Malaysia. And for myself, really, and hopefully my audience, is to figure out why the heck would somebody want to take the trouble to do all this, right? What's in it for you?
Yeah, I get that question all the time.
So perhaps, I don't even know where to start. Maybe we could start with StartupMamak. We could start with how far back you want to. Why don't you begin and then we go from there?
How far back? I don't know, man. Career-wise, my first job was computer technician, and I was repairing computer.
You want to get the mic a bit closer? You can move the...
Okay. So that was
computer
my
technician.
first job. After I finished diploma in information systems engineering. So I didn't pursue programming as a career. I went on with like IT support and all this stuff. That time, I have an impression that programmers work long hour, and then I was trying to stay away from it.
From the long hours?
Yeah.
You want an easy job. But when you say IT support, is it hardware type?
Hardware
IT
type.
Okay. What,
then
servers and things or laptops? Or what?
Server networking. Making sure all the users in my company making sure things doesn't break down.
Okay.
So then I move on to a few other job that is always about supporting user from IT administrator point of view. I had a job in a manufacturing plant supporting 50 users, and then I went on to a software house. It's a very small team, and then I helped them as a system engineer, making sure the server is up and running. So I tried many jobs before I decided that I want to try building a product. I want to try running my own company. So let me fast forward a bit until when I was trying to build my first startups. 10 years ago, 2010. That time, iPhone 4 was launched, and then there was this app that most of us would have heard of, which is Foursquare.
Yes. Do people still use Foursquare?
I think so,
actually.
Yeah. And they are still surviving on selling the location data and all this. So 10 years ago, Foursquare is the app for all the smartphone user, and
to check in, be the not ambassador,
check-in mayor,
the mayor of a location, and all that, right?
I'm very inspired by that, and then like any other startup, we try to build something, and like any other first timer, we try to build an app that we thought many people would find useful. We want to build an app to help people find where is the best restaurant.
Okay, who's we?
Myself and the other partner.
Okay, who's that?
His name is Darian. So
just the two of you at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's more like an angel investor, and then so that was my first startup. I have someone to put in some money, and then my job is to figure out everything else, like to secure developers to work on the app, to talk to more restaurant owner, introducing this idea to them and to think about marketing plan, which I've not much idea about. Like, you know, I thought like creating a Facebook page is marketing.
Okay.
So the
well,
thing
not
is,
far wrong. You know, some people still do it that way.
Yeah, it's you can't rely on that obviously, but
Yeah.
and you can't rely on one person trying to do all this.
Yeah.
I think looking back, I was, making the first mistake trying to do a lot as a solo founder, which usually proves to be disastrous. And I do not have experience in project management. It's my very first time engaging with developers. I need to figure all this out, and then when money runs out, and I realized, then I start to realize there's this thing called fundraising.
But just to take a step back, you quit your job to do this, or you were doing it on the side?
I quit my job doing this. I am drawing some salary out of this investment as well. Yes, I was doing this full time.
So you looked at Foursquare, and then you're like, in Malaysia doesn't seem to be anyone doing an app to find really good restaurants. Is that what it was?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. I didn't. So let me clarify. So we were very inspired by Foursquare, and then we thought, what if we just pick one category, which is F&B, and then ultimately helping people to find the, where to find good food in the nearby location. So we even named our startup. My first startup failure, we named it Square Meal.
Okay, very close to
Square Meal, and and
was there any other apps similar to that at the time apart from Foursquare?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you saw the gap.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Because that time, I must emphasize, like, Foursquare again being the leader in the app category, right? And that's the time more people start to use iPhone, start to use smartphone, and then that was iPhone 4 when it was just launched, and App Store is booming.
Right.
App is booming, so it gave us a lot of motivation that why don't we become first mover in this space? And we don't see a lot of competitor in the space because it's a very tough space. 10 years ago, how do you create an app that user actually wants to use? How do you get restaurants on board when they are just, this is so new to them? Like, how do we convince them to adjust the SOP? So the idea was not just helping people to find a nearby restaurant, and then the user can check in and gain points and use the point to exchange exclusive voucher on the app that was offered by the merchant.
Right. Sounds like Fave, but
Yes.
you're 10 years earlier.
Yes. Some part of me would think that if we continue on, then we probably doing what Fave would be doing. But anyway, yeah.
But anyway, so then what happened? So so there's a couple of you with some developers. You had this idea, got some funding, which kept you alive for a while.
For maybe 1.5 years.
Did you guys launch?
Yes. In a very quiet way, like launch as in it's on App Store.
Right.
I try to tell my friends about it, and that's pretty much it.
That was the publicity,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the app is not polished. There's a lot of bugs, and then we probably have 20 restaurants on the app.
Right.
But it isn't enough, right? So if I can summarize what was my biggest learning from it is that you need a team to build a startup. Simple as that. But it wasn't simple to me.
Yeah.
No one was giving me advice like this back then.
Yeah, 10 years ago,
Yes.
the landscape for startups is very different than today. Right? I don't think, did you call yourself startups even then? It was just...
No, I have no idea.
Right? I think if you're talking about 10 years ago, I think no, there was no accelerator programs. There's no this side of the world anyway, right? I'm obviously in Silicon Valley and all that. There's quite
not
there,
not
but,
much until
but here, it was very new.
until Startup Malaysia was formed,
Mm.
which is around that time.
Mm.
Startup Malaysia was founded by a dear friend Dash,
Mm.
and
Who used to be next door in UOA?
yeah, he's still there at the Loop. So hi Dash.
Hi,
and he put in a lot of effort, establishing this, and very first flagship event by them is they got a lot of support from the Ministry of Higher Education, and then they organized this 2-day conference with the pitch to gather. What if we gather up to 1,000 startup entrepreneur, tech entrepreneur into one room, and get some of the tech leaders from Silicon Valley. So the conference is literally Silicon Valley comes to Malaysia.
Right.
I want to give a lot of credit to this experience because
So at that time when Dash did this, you were already set
almost
up?
closing down my company.
Okay,
Funds is running out.
Right.
I remember my only effort trying to raise fund, it's not fundraising, but I tried to apply this grant from MDEC. Back then, MDEC ran this very successful program, Icon Debt or something.
Okay.
So that program is designed for two purposes. One is to upskill a lot of mobile apps developer, help them to launch their app. The other is to help existing company that has an app, to help startups with some grant. I tried to apply that, and I remember another friend that you interviewed recently that was in the panel as well. I was given 5 minutes to pitch, and obviously I threw that out, and I don't even know what is pitching, right? I basically spent the first 2 minutes, trying to set the stage.
A lot of background and context lah.
Yeah, and then
didn't get to what you were trying to do.
And then that dear friend, I mean, well, I can say anything in this session, right? So it was big cash. It was just being straight shooter to say, okay, can you get straight to the point, please?
Yeah.
So that was my first pitching experience.
Right. Getting shot by Vikesh.
Yeah, I took it as an honor actually. So yeah, we couldn't raise. Money runs out, and then I realized found out about this conference by Startup Malaysia. Silicon Valley comes to Malaysia. How I even got the pass to this event? It's out of serendipity or luck. I took the pass from another friend that decided not to attend.
Okay.
I only found about this too late. I missed the application deadline for the ticket and everything. But if there's an avenue for me to learn, I will just go for it, right? So I went. I took the pass and then I attended the 2 days that. Fair to say, really changed the trajectory of my life journey back then, because StartupMamak was basically born out of that, and I'll get to it in a minute. So that 2-day conference, there's a lot of talks. There's these great founders from Silicon Valley, and met a lot of great people, from the local community as well. Yeah. And then, Startup Malaysia also continue to engage, a small group of us, and then say, so like we went out for yam cha lah. Like we meet up again at cafe, and
after the 2 days.
After the 2 days, yes.
You stayed in touch, yeah.
Yeah, because from Startup Malaysia as an organizer point of view, they saw that there's a local group that's very enthusiastic and want to learn, want to connect.
So how many people were there who attended the session?
Like all these like 20 people max?
No, during the Startup Malaysia session itself.
I say easily it's maybe 600 to 700 people.
Oh, I'm mistaken. So 10 years ago there was actually quite a good community also.
You're not wrong, but startup is just getting introduced and popularized, but 600 people could be any type of working professional.
Okay.
I don't think we have 600 startups or 600 tech entrepreneurs, but because it's quite well marketed event, and they're actually trying to hit 1,000. I don't think they have hit 1,000, but
it's fairly
60%
good.
is a great number.
Yeah.
Because everyone is curious about this. Who is like co-founder of YouTube was there. This is the one that I remember the most. Like the rest, there are some other company that maybe not many people have heard of. And then there's this coach, like a startup coach that came from San Francisco again. So a lot of all this learning and new connection that I'm exposed to. So after maybe one or two like small gathering, 10 to 20 people organized by Startup Malaysia, and then just a few of us start to say, why don't we do this more often? And then myself, here's the thing, I myself is a person that if there's no one doing something and I know the importance of doing it, I will just take the initiative and step up and do it. So that time I say, everyone seems to think that they want to get organized more often, and then I say, okay, I can help I can volunteer as an organizer and do this. So then I went on to keep organize this monthly meetup,
right?
And we do it first Thursday of the month, and we did it for 3 years straight. I never miss a month. And
so at the first Monday of the month, did you say, or first day of the month?
First Thursday of the month.
Or first Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
A bunch of you will get together and just have
share about. We meet at a cafe at Kilini. Back then there was one Kilini in KL Central. Now it's already closed down at maybe like Old Town. Not really Mamak lah, but but so.
But the point is you catch up lah, right?
Yeah, we catch up. We talk about ideas.
And you're saying there's about at least 10 to 20 people.
10 to 20 people because back then, again, from 2011 to 2013, only 1 year later I created a Facebook group.
Okay. So initially it was just like a WhatsApp group lah.
No. I forgot if I started using WhatsApp then, and so I just post it on my timeline. It's very
just organic just gonna use whatever you had, right? Yeah.
My timeline, I say on this date we are gonna meet at this place. What time? Come join us.
Right.
Here's my number, and 10 to 20, just this small amount of people will come. And so I want to talk about like how did we even come up with the name, right?
Right.
I didn't come up with the name.
Okay.
I don't want to take credit of that, but I can find you that Facebook link, a permanent link of this Facebook post that someone created a poll to ask, hey, what should we name this?
Right. Hey, you share that with me. I'll put it up.
I will.
Yeah.
I can still find it.
Yeah.
Thanks to Facebook. And a dear friend came up with the name StartupMamak.
Right.
And this dear friend, his name is James Koo. Sadly he has left us. I think maybe 6 months ago.
Oh.
Due to cancer.
Oh, okay.
Pancreatic cancer or something like that, and then it got to quite a severe stage that he was probably late 40.
Ah, so young.
With 3 kids. But he was a very hardworking tech leader and entrepreneur back that we met throughout during Startup Malaysia conference. And back then, so you probably heard of it, like he built this personal safety app. He called it Secure Me. And then a few years later, he joined with another co-founder, and then rebranded as Watch Over Me.
Right.
Because he was the tech founder behind this, and then
so he came up. So in all his
the name,
then he came up with the name
StartupMamak.
So you created the Facebook page,
the Facebook group eventually, and then eventually I learned how to use Facebook event. That's how that's how we grew organically from there.
And even in terms of inviting people to the page, it was just people sharing it with other people, and it just kind of grew that way.
Yeah, and so I think looking back, the consistency helped. So why I kind of stopped after 3 years, because then I got got busy with my work. I actually in 2014 May, I'm one of the first few member in Magic team that I joined them because that time I was jobless. Number one, number two, because I'm pretty involved in the community already.
Right.
After three years, and I met Cheryl she was the founding CEO of Magic, and I feel like it's the best of both worlds. It's my passion to be involved in the community, to help the community, to engage the community, and Magic is meant to, really kickstart a lot of efforts to, upskill and support entrepreneurs, and that's why I joined the team, and I spent about a year there.
I think that must have been where I first met you, at Magic. I'm sure probably at the corridors in Cyberjaya.
Really?
Because when Cheryl first joined, so we had a MOU signing with her between Maybank and Magic.
Ah.
So I'm sure during the times I was over there, or somewhere, we must have met.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So that was about the same. That's about the time you just kickstarted the whole thing in Maybank Fintech.
In Maybank Fintech, yeah. About early 2015.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I might have left, but yeah. So where were we? So
so you joined Magic. So you were there for about a year.
Then
what did you do?
What did I do in Magic, or
during Magic? Did you? And why did you leave so soon?
So I think a lot of things happened in between as well. Like I was getting on to my second startup project, and
which was?
It's called Code Red. I call it Code Red because
Code Red.
CORATE, Code Red.
Oh, okay.
In 2013, I won a hackathon. And again, it was organized by Cradle and Startup Malaysia. So it was very exciting. I won this hackathon, and then they actually sent us to Silicon Valley for some immersion study trip, whatnot.
Nice.
So that got us very excited and got me even very much believe in the idea and wanted to build it, right. And I still do believe in that idea until today. Code Red is about creating a tool to help avid reader organize information and using AI to better organize it and even provide summary for it. For me, I'm the type of user that open a tons of Chrome tabs.
Right.
And there's a lot of things I want to read. I saw the headline, I just opened, and then I never actually read it.
You can't get back to it lah. You get distracted with the next headline.
Correct. And perhaps I'll bookmark it and then forget about it. So I believe in the world there's enough people that is similar like this. So the tool is meant to help myself solve all this information overload.
Right.
Like, how do I revisit the information that I actually need? Or how do I even help myself save time in reading and just get to the summary of it using AI?
Right.
I had this idea 7 years ago. Of course, I failed again, and ultimately the second biggest lesson I learned from trying to build this startup is that again, you need a team, and you need the team that being able to share your vision for your product and willing to invest their time to build it together. Another challenge I faced that back then was it might be too complicated, or I might be thinking too far ahead. I'm trying to build something sophisticated, and I could never find. I tried with a lot of teams. I wasted a lot of time and also because I don't have much money to pay people, right? So it's more like I wasted time with people that I thought they could help to build, and then end up they didn't do much, or they couldn't build it, or they give up, or life happens to all of us, and then we got distracted and all. So I wasted a lot of time, like maybe from 2013 to 2015, getting stuck with this idea. Before Magic or after Magic, I actually tried many jobs as well. Like looking back, I never have a job more than a year.
Right.
So I when I left Magic, it's more about I wanted to continue on my idea. I wanted to continue pursuing my startup projects full time. But then I accidentally joined YTL Communication.
Okay.
As in like at the minute.
Accidentally joined? How does that work?
Because so for better or worse, the Yes 4G CEO just noticed that I left Magic, and then he just met me over dinner and then asked me to join him.
Right.
And because that time he felt like he needed a community guy that is plugged into the ecosystem and ultimately maybe help him to sell more Yes solutions. So I because he's so charismatic, and he's still the same CEO, by the way. I'm like he was charismatic, very convincing, very knowledgeable, and then he said, you know what, I'm gonna create this position for you. Why don't you help me? And then I look at my bank account. There's not much left, and then I just joined him.
His salary is good
not
at the
long
moment.
after Magic. Yeah, so. If I shouldn't, because if I'm looking back, I probably make a different decision, because what if I continue on trying more ways to just focus on building my own startup or whatnot, maybe, or just relying on myself. That might definitely there'll be different outcomes. So that job didn't last long as well, because I didn't enjoy it. I couldn't really do my job well. I didn't feel empowered and all everything, right? Then I in less than a year I left, and then where was I? And then back to just getting by with freelance project and all. But that helped a lot in terms of helping that all this mix of freelance experience or in between jobs. So when I run out of money, I just try to find projects that I can help as a project manager.
Yeah.
And then I find talent to like tech people, programmers to help building it, and then I just be the middleman between client and the programmers.
Okay.
And I have many failures in terms of delivering project, and then some successful delivery as well. And then I realized it's actually very important to have that middleman project manager that could understand and manage both sides. So in a way, that gave me the confidence, or gave me the inspiration that, okay, now that I'm more involved in the community now, and every day there's a lot of people asking me, hey, can you recommend me developers, because you're so active in the community,
right.
You organize hackathon, you should know more people, right?
Yeah.
I start to make all this free introduction and everything, and then I decided, now that I finally finally move on from the co-rate ideas, then perhaps I just start a company and provide this service to project manage, to find talent for projects, and then make real money out of it.
Right.
After 2 startup failure, right? So I started Devs Asia in 2016, doing just that.
Right.
And
So Devs Asia is a place where people will just log in, and then a project or project management will go in and look for resources.
no login. We do not have a platform for that.
Okay.
They just talk to me.
Okay. So they've also so it's a company.
It's just
that,
a service consultancy, and we get the requirement from business, and then we will find the best talent for the job. We'll assemble a team and then deliver.
So the difference here is not just finding the talent for people and passing it on.
We oversee.
But you actually do the project management as well, with the developers that you find.
Yes.
Okay. Now, just to go step back a little bit. So
Yes.
up until 2016 when you started that, right? At the same time, in parallel, I guess your StartupMamak webpage memberships were slowly growing and growing and growing, lah. How share a little bit about the activities, if you like, on the StartupMamak. So how did it evolve from, it was just the 20-30 people and then it started growing and growing. So how was that? Because I have to say, I think today StartupMamak probably is, if not the largest, one of the largest groups for startups in Malaysia, right?
Yes.
Even, or in the region, in fact.
Yes. In the region, I'm not sure.
How many members do you have now?
17,000.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big group on Facebook, 17,000. So how was the trajectory for that growth? Was it like steady all the way until now, or it kind of shot up sometime, or how?
I would say it's quite organic, and maybe the only way we market about it is when throughout the years, and so many years, this is our year 9. We make it, so this is just a Facebook group, right? But we make it a place that member of the ecosystem can ask questions related to startups, entrepreneurship. We make it a place for event organizer or program organizer. It could be from Magic or to any meetups organizer. If it's related to startups, then we help them, we encourage them or invite them to post events in the group, because that's where the target audience is. And sometimes when we do that, we also get, in exchange we get some exposure. They would feature us as a community partner,
Right.
or supporting partner. They will put our logo in. I think things like this help more people get to know StartupMamak. And perhaps maybe from year 4 onwards, there's this feature that you can invite your friends to the group, and I noticed members start to invite their friends to the group as well, or start to actually really tell people about StartupMamak, because I actually, I start to, meet people in real life, and then they say, like, oh, okay, I heard about StartupMamak from my friend, and things like this. So I call it organic, right?
Yeah,
and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that people find values in it. Ultimately, I'm thankful that the group is somewhat self-organized, in the sense that even if, like, but not recently, but for the longest time, I feel like the member is quite mindful about what they post in the group as well. As in, they won't post too salesy stuff or irrelevant stuff. Or if someone actually if someone actually did that, some other member will report about it, and then I'll know about it.
So you are the admin, the only
I'm
admin moderator for the site.
Yes, I'm the only admin that moderate all these posts, but until recently, then I start to really turn on the moderation mode, and I had to filter posts that is irrelevant. So
before this, it was open.
Yes,
Free
pretty
for
open.
All, anybody can post. Okay.
Yes.
And as you say, it was like the other members in the group who will
sort of help to
manage the guys who are not so appropriate
Correct.
Oh, okay.
But because we stopped organizing events or meetups, mainly because I feel there's a lot of other startup events in the ecosystem as well. So for the past few years, maybe we organize one or twice event in a year.
Right.
And my goal is for this year, I'd like to do that as well, perhaps once a quarter, to engage, the new friends or members in offline. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think another thing is because a lot of people are actually genuinely curious about how to build a startup, how do I get started. I want to get on entrepreneurship, and they bump into this StartupMamak group.
Yeah.
Maybe when they search startup, or like Facebook has this feature to recommend, group that you might be interested as well, or maybe group that your friends is in, maybe you want to be in. So that really helps in terms of growing the member size. Yeah.
So in the group itself, is there like a core group of people that always meet up or organizes events?
No.
So it's just you essentially.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
I hope it doesn't. It's not like I'm dictator or
yeah, but it just so organically happens, and
it's pretty organic. It's you could say a one-man show. Yeah.
Not bad for a one-man show with 17,000 members in there. So obviously it feels like, obviously people will go to places that they're comfortable with, right? Places where they feel it's safe to share and to ask silly questions, right?
And get value.
Right. And not get hammered. Like, sometimes there's haters everywhere, right? And there are certain groups in there that there is such a closely knit clique that anybody who comes in gets whacked, don't ask stupid questions, right?
Yes.
So I guess for you to have grown that big, somehow the self-organized group in there are very supportive of all the startups and members who join.
I'm really grateful of that. I honestly think that when I saw someone ask question, and I even actually myself, I seldom join a conversation because I'm just too busy with my day-to-day thing, and I really feel grateful. The members of the community really contribute constructive feedback or comments or solution to it.
Yeah.
That is really, I don't take it for granted. Yeah. And I'm glad that it is still like this until today. Yeah.
So as I guess from a moderator, how much content do you have to go through every day, every week?
I think about 20 posts a day.
That people want to post? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And that's manageable, I guess, still.
Yeah.
And membership requests? How many do you get? Because I know there are some people who would apply and they wait for months and months and nothing happens, I think.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people will just message me out of the blue and say, hey, can you please approve me? And then I immediately did it. But yeah, actually, so they are like, I clear off a lot already, but actually now there's like maybe 1,600 join requests.
Right.
That
So isn't it just a question of letting everybody in, or do you actually do some kind of a filtering to see who gets in?
I just have this policy myself that I do want to I do want to approve them one by one. I only ask one question, which is what brings you here, and I look at their answer actually. Because I could easily approve everyone, just one click and then approve all, but I just feel like I want to avoid having fake accounts or just
bots and
someone like some weird profile. Because so this is more like my pet peeve, I guess.
Yeah. So, and I guess that's why, so if you look back, you would have looked at least 17,000 responses to your questions?
Half of it, I would say. Half of it.
Yeah.
That feature may be introduced only a few years back,
Right.
But I would say half of it, yes.
Wow. I mean, that takes some
weird,
time
man.
and effort, right? So if you look back, okay lah, bodoh, 7,000 different responses to that question. One, you have to go ask them the question. Then You have to listen and read and say, okay, makes sense. Wow.
No, the question
that's
is already there when they join.
right. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
The question already there when they join.
Mm.
Like, so I don't need to ask everyone now. But yeah, let's say if I spend 15 seconds for one approval,
Yeah.
I count that by 7,000. What would that be? A lot of hours, or
Let's see, yeah. So you have, let's say, 7,000 times a minute, 2 minutes?
no, 15 seconds, let's say.
15 okay, last, so 10 seconds. So 15 seconds, huh?
Wow.
Divided by 60. So that's...
Wow. 29 hours.
Huh.
Well, so what? About 30 hours throughout.
When you look at it,
4
it doesn't
years.
sound too much. But it's not just log on and check and read. Right? I don't think it is. You do have to think a little bit. It's like, okay. But it is effort on your part still, right? And it's ongoing. The fact that, look, if it is that easy, you would have gone through the extra 1,700 already.
Yes.
It's commendable what you've done to go through every single one.
To be a bit more, like, with good intention to curate the community. Yes.
Wow. So how do you see that thing moving forward? Are you happy the way it's grown and the community is the way it's active?
I'm happy, but perhaps it's about how do we find more ways to, really give them access to the right resources, to the right information, actually empower them to take the first step or next step in their startup journey or in their journey of getting familiarized with the community, with the concept of building a startup. Because so you want to know what is the most common answer that I get when I ask what brings you here? Is they want to learn.
Right.
They want to connect. They want to get inspiration because I'm thinking of building a startup. So these are the most common answer I get, and that no matter how it could be just 1 or 2 lines, but it actually motivates me that we need to keep this going, and we need to do a lot more. And of course, in the ecosystem, there's a lot of different players doing this already. Obviously, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I'm not trying to say that I try to boil the whole ocean or whatnot. Like I don't think everyone. I don't think anyone. I don't think everyone can be entrepreneur. But I think most of them should expose themselves to the world of how do you build a technology company now in this day and age? How do you be a valuable asset into digital economy? How to create more values as an individual contributor, as a talent. So this is the thing that will be the top of my mind, that I hope to do more. This, I can't articulate exactly what is it, but I have been doing a lot. So I run Founder Institute.
Yeah, let's go into that. So what is Founder Institute?
Founder Institute is a program from Silicon Valley. Today globally we have up to 180 cities. We provide programs to coach startup entrepreneurs. And we provide this support network to help them through the journey of coming up from idea to launching the company in 4 months' time.
So how did that start? Let's go into a bit of a how did you get involved with Founder Institute?
So in late 2012, I went to Singapore to attended the first ever startup conference in Singapore. which is now Tech in Asia.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
2012,
Back then, it was called Startup Asia.
Okay.
I also somehow got free passes to that, and I'm very lucky because I wouldn't have been able to afford for it. I attended that in Singapore, and then I met Jeffrey Payne, who's a very important person, in my journey of startup as well. Jeffrey Payne is now the managing partner of Golden Gate Ventures.
Okay.
One of the most notable VC in this region. Back then, when I met him, he hasn't even started Golden Gate Venture. He was running another VC, and he was the director of Founder Institute in Singapore.
Okay.
He was the first person that brought this program into Asia.
Okay.
And I met him, and then he briefly mentioned about Founder Institute, and then that name just stuck with me, and then I went home, and then I Googled about it, and then I saw this program to coach founders from Silicon Valley. You can bring this to your city. So I just applied.
So it was so new then.
Yes.
So he brought it to Singapore, and you're saying that was the first one in the region.
In the region.
And they were still open for people to
expand into other cities.
Right. Okay. So
that part of it that say, it's not in Malaysia. I think it's a great program.
Right.
I want to learn to build a startup as well because I failed. When nobody was able to guide me or mentor me. I don't even have a solid concept about mentorship back then.
Right.
So I immediately think that this program must happen in Malaysia, and then I just applied, and then I spoke to Jeffrey again and said I want to run this thing.
And he remembered you, lah. So, hey, we in Singapore.
Doesn't matter. I mean because maybe I made some impression or what, but I just reached out to him again. And long story short, so I managed to I got on this.
I want the long story.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
So I got on this call with founder of Founder Institute, right?
Who is?
Adil Rezi.
Okay.
So he's the one that started this. Then I got on this call with him, and then with Jeffrey in the Skype call, and then the very reason they say okay for me to run it is two things. One, I failed a startup before.
Right.
I had a taste of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I succeed or not.
Yeah. But
I tried. I failed.
Yeah.
Number two, because I'm somewhat involved in community. Because that was 2012, and pretty much 1 year after I run StartupMamak, right? So that was the very two condition that gained me the entry to the door and gave them that little bit of trust on me to run Founder Institute. Because honestly, I was 8 years ago, I was 27. What the fuck am I, man? I'm nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like,
well, you knew people, but
a bit.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes maybe you underestimate how much you.
No, I just want to
worth.
I just want to do something.
Yeah.
That if I feel like there isn't much resources or opportunity or avenue to learn, and if I could bring this program here for more people to learn, including myself, then I want to do it. And so until today, I'm still running.
Yeah. So help us understand about Founders Institute. So what kind of programs? What does it do?
It's a pre-seed accelerator program for early stage startups. We have this admission process for founders who might have an idea about building a technology company, might not have. So long they are working professional with some experience in their industry, we welcome them to submit their application for free. And then we have this proprietary aptitude test to profile them for us to select who is suitable for the program, who could benefit most from this program.
Okay.
And then it's this program runs for 3.5 months. We have with a structured curriculum that discuss on different topic on a weekly basis. And we invite and gather all the top entrepreneurs in Malaysia to be our mentor, to share their experience and insights of building company with this cohort of founders.
Yeah.
So it's not just myself or my co-directors it is not just our job to coach them, but we actually connect them with all these experienced entrepreneurs who have been there, done that, who are still, building their company as a mentor, and guide them through the process. And also we have this system to discipline them. We have this check-in mechanism, and we actually every week we ask them to work on business building assignment to make progress with their startups. And all these activities are actually quite intense. That's why usually we only see 40% of people complete the program.
So, a couple of things. When did this start? The program itself?
So for this year, we started recruitment since last month, and
no, I mean from the beginning in Malaysia. When did it first?
Early 2013.
Okay, so it's been running once a year.
Yes,
one cohort
a year.
Okay, so then it's been about what, 7 rounds already, lah.
Yes. So we did 3 years in KL, and then on 2016 we stopped KL. And then we decided to run it in Penang.
Okay.
So I was.
Why the shift?
There was demand in Penang. There isn't much opportunity for a program like this in Penang. 2016, that time was a high time for local startup ecosystem, because Magic has been running for a few years.
Right.
MDEC has always been supporting the ICT growth, and that's about the time that MDEC start to have a new mandate about growing digital economy. So there's a lot of programs
in Klang
in
Valley.
KL, correct. But none in Penang. So then I team up with Chan, who's the founder of Exabytes, who's based in Penang, who's a great leader and great supporter of entrepreneurship in Penang. And then we actually work together in running this, and I really thankful for him, because although he's very busy and running this company, and he actually still set aside solid time and to run this thing together. And I had to travel to Penang almost every week, like in and out for that.
For that 3.5 months, 4 months for that one session. I mean that one cohort that year.
Correct.
So typically every year, how many applications do you get, and how many do you actually choose for the program?
I think we easily get like over hundreds. So okay, maybe so last year we had about, I guess, up to 200 applications. And then we end up started the cohort with 55 founders. And after 3.5 months, only 17 is standing.
Right, that survived it.
And can survive it and complete the program. And out of these 17 founders, they have incorporated 15 startups. So that was September last year. Today, you probably ask, where are they and what happened to them, right? Some perhaps went on to hibernation mode already, to be honest.
Well, it is a startup world, right? So
it is a startup world
it's
that
not easy to
90% or even more fail in their first year. So they might have moved on to other things or pivot or decided to stop for a while, but I like to think that if they survive the 3.5 months program, which is very intensive and very demanding, demanding in the sense that that's how the world works. you can't try to build startups and then expect an easy life out of it. It doesn't correlate. It's damn hard. It's very hard to build a startup and through the program we give them that reality check. And if they survive, if they make it through the program, I like to believe that they have built up some muscle, some resilience, that even if they shut down that company from the program, if they, as and when they want to start another company or the other idea, they are more ready. They're more mature. They have some scars. Yeah. And they're definitely not so clueless or fearful about doing all this, because it's definitely painful, but once you're able to anticipate the pain, then you get stronger every time. So that's about founding still, and that is why I still believe the benefit and the transformational impact of the program. That's why until today I still set aside time to run it, because we don't really make money out of it. Like we charge some fees.
So help understand the structure, right? So there's a few core of you who run the program, and then you get funding directly from the participants who join.
Correct.
Right, and these are, you were saying that it's for a pre-seed accelerator. So essentially, it's a bunch of guys who may not even registered a company yet.
Yes.
They have a really good idea, like you 10 years ago, right? To say, hey, I want to do this app for restaurants. So you would have been a perfect candidate for this program had it been here 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So then I pay a small fee, and then if I get selected, then I join lah. And it's based on this fee that you will organize the 3.5 months.
Correct. The fees we actually most of it goes to headquarters, and the balance we spend it on the venue and some of the really miscellaneous costs, miscellaneous expenses, and then that's why we do need to get some form of sponsorship or support from different partners or companies that wants to engage this type of founder or startup audience as well, and to help us to cover the cost and expenses.
Does Founder Institute invest in these companies itself?
Not directly, not really. So what we have instead is that we actually organize more virtual mentorship program for the graduates. Once they complete the program, and then we monitor their progress, and then we'll recommend them for, let's say, a short-term mentorship program that is focused on fundraising, or that is focused on growth hacking.
So it depends on whatever needs of the various startups.
Yeah. The thing is, once they graduate, they are part of the global network. A global network with different leaders from different ecosystems and cities that is helpful, that is always ready to support founders from other cohort. So that's I think the most valuable thing for any founder is still founders. And of course, there's in this ecosystem there's a lot of successful entrepreneur who is our mentors as well. They could be the angel investor. They could be they will have connection to VC who's always looking for deal flow, right?
Yeah.
So they see us as a good source of deal flows. So the network effect is definitely something I find very valuable and helpful for any startups. Yes.
Just find it interesting that on your own you set up StartupMamak, which is a very broad network of startups, right? And through Founders Institute, here's another network.
Yes.
Right? Of startups, who, as you say, I think it's critical, right, for their growth to be able to have this network of people with be it similar industry or similar background, but at least you speak the same language, right, to understand what the challenges are for for startups?
There's this saying that says it takes a village to raise a child, right? And it takes a ecosystem to raise great startups. So that's what we hold on to, and you just need a lot of friends when you're building a company. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And I guess what kept me going is that I always enjoy meeting new people that I could learn from, and I always find it very rewarding when what I do helps people to improve, because that helped myself improve as well. And looking back, I realized it is indeed my passion, and even I'll say it is my purpose in people development. And I want to share this with you is that and just few years back I just somehow able to write a sentence for what is my purpose, and that is empowering people to achieve greatness. And that's stuck with me. That helped me, like, looking back, why do I spend so much time doing all this, like, and not making money, still red in my bank account and all. So that kept me going. Yeah.
You have found your purpose, né?
Yes.
Empowering people to be successful, to achieve greatness.
Yes.
Wow. I tell you, man, the community definitely needs people like you, right? Whether they appreciate it or not, but definitely I appreciate the fact that you know what you've done. Because like I said, when I stumbled onto StartupMamak, I was like, 17,000? I was like, wow, this is like something else, right? And I keep bumping into you in a whole bunch of different
yes, man.
events, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I just have two more questions, right? Which is, so what's the future for StartupMamak? As far as you can see.
So over time, the futures for StartupMamak is it should go beyond growing the local talent or local startup entrepreneurs. It also, over time, a lot of friends, new friends from other countries, from other ecosystems, actually found out about us, found out about myself, or found out about when they find where do I find a community in Malaysia? They stumble upon StartupMamak. I feel like we could become that gateway for us, the community in Malaysia, to connect with communities of other country, of the region. And why in the same way, the other community or other city, when they are trying to figure out Malaysia, when they are trying to connect with Malaysia ecosystem, we could be that resource for them as well. So I think that is something that will be useful, and we can play a meaningful role in that, of connecting Malaysia with the world and the world to Malaysia. Because I feel like that has somehow happened one way or the other in the past. Like so I get to meet all these different representatives from different agencies from Taiwan, and then they invited me over to share with them more about Malaysia. They're trying to explore how to get more Malaysia company join the sort of set up shop in Taiwan.
Right.
And then from Singapore, they are always have this curious but also awkward relationship with us. But of course they whenever they want to do stuff, they ask me for introduction and things like that. So yeah, I feel like sometimes we actually see people ask, hey, could I find something like StartupMamak but in Indonesia?
So maybe it's time to find a more Indonesian word for mama and then launch something
Maybe.
over there, right?
Maybe. So yeah. The next question, what was the last?
The last question then is, if that was for the future for StartupMamak, so what's the future for Heislyc?
Myself.
As far as helping people
Thanks for the question.
greatness, which is such a service oriented mission to help others.
Selfless, right? And I have been reminding myself to help myself more as well, honestly.
Well, I'm sure there's karma, right? So karma, what goes around comes around, right? I'm sure. So what's the future for you?
How I, sustain myself now is, so I'm still running Devs Asia, helping businesses to build their digital product, their apps, their website. So that's the main source of revenue. But for the past few years, I have been observing the ecosystem from the talent point of view as well. There's a lot of stubborn challenge in the ecosystem when it comes to finding great technical talent.
Right.
There isn't enough.
Right.
And the best one are already, pushed by the top companies, the well-funded companies. Or went to other countries. So I'm besides keeping Devs Asia running, today we are able to find enough talent for some projects, because all our clients struggle to find their own. They couldn't build their own tech team, and that's why they have no choice but to outsource it.
Right.
Now I could continue to run this, or why not I work on, nurturing and upskilling more talent as well? Because number one, that will help grow my own own access to talent pool. But number two, I want more the ecosystems deserve, better talents, and I don't see enough solution or efforts into developing tech talents. I'm talking about how do we help so we have enough talent, but the talents are not up to date. They are not learning quick enough. They are not updating their skill sets. They are still stuck with how things are done few years back. And that's very unfortunate, because what if I tell you even their leaders has been doing the things in the same way?
Yeah.
And if their leaders not learning and not investing on themselves and still doing the things in the same way, then we have a lot of problem with that, because that means they are not available for the latest demand in the digital economy. That means there isn't enough talent moving around. And we cannot
talent with the right skills, with
the right skills.
Yeah.
And of course, we can't wait for the new batch of graduates from the university, and that's another set of problem, because you can never expect them to be job ready, due to the fact that was how university or academy is designed, because their syllabus takes time to be updated, and then there's always this gap between the readiness of the graduates and what the job, even for the junior. What the junior job demands. So this is the two gaps that I want to solve with the new setup that I'm gonna call it the Once Academy.
Okay.
That I want to, in short, focus on upskilling the talent, and so that they can do their job better, so that they can get better income when they equip themselves with latest skill set.
So this Defense Academy, something that you are cooking right now, lah?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And ultimately, it's about not just running a training company or an education entity. Ultimately, it's still aligned with my purpose, which is to develop people, which is to empower people to do great things. So through the Once Academy, the angle is to create a community of tech talents. And not just for Malaysia, but for the region as well. And through Devs Asia and the Once Academy, basically, we either engage them with project opportunity for as a new income source, or we engage them with better access to education, to skill-based education. Yeah.
Because don't forget, when you talk about startups and founders, actually, as you said right from the beginning, right, not everybody's cut out to be a founder, an entrepreneur, right? So for every entrepreneur that's out there, you need a whole army of tech talent right behind it. So where's that tech talent coming from, right? So
we need more of them.
Yeah. It's been really lovely talking to you.
Thank you.
To understand the journey that you've had and this mission that you have, right? To connect so many people. I wonder how many people out there really appreciate the fact that they've used these platforms that you've been involved in and help co-find and build their futures out of it, right? And like I said, it's karma lah. The good things that you do, I'm sure it will come back, right? Come back to you. I'm sure it already has in many ways.
Yeah.
So good luck with the academy and
thanks
with Devs Asia anyway. Keep going strong with the StartupMamak.
Thank you.
And good luck with so going back to the Founders Institute, what's the plan for this year?
We are accepting application until 26 April. And we are still running a series of offline and online events to tell more people about the program. So I guess anyone's interested, and you could find me on StartupMamak and then ask about it.
Right. Is there obviously if you Google Founders Institute, you can find it there too, lah.
Yes. Look for the website fi.co. That's where they can log on and find the localized information for Kuala Lumpur. Yeah. And I also want to add that next year will be the 10th-year anniversary for StartupMamak.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
you need to do a big bash for that, huh?
I want to. I will. So started thinking about ideas for it, and I definitely want to. So the thing is this: I can't imagine myself doing any other thing that lasts so long.
Yeah.
Like my job never lasts so long, and I eat, sleep, and whatnot. That's for sure. But it's probably the only thing
this
that
community has gone on since, what was it, 2012? 2011.
Since 2011.
Right. And so next year, 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Cool. Happy to support. And let's see, let's see what we can do.
You definitely be invited to be there, and it should be a big a meaningful celebration and a meaningful party. Yeah.
Okay, man. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for spending
Amran.
the time.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely catch up again.
Oh, for sure. Thank you.
And good luck with the Founder Institute. And let's
Thanks.
see what happens there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
man.
you.